Okay, hi everyone. Just a very quick video on something that I've discovered with the Blackstar ID X amp. Well, amps. This is a 50. I presume the same is true for the 100, which unfortunately to my mind is a major ball dropped by Blackstar. They're not the only people to do this. I'll explain in a second. The first thing I would say is I've had this amp a couple of weeks. I've fitted it with a Celestion Creamback speaker, and I think it sounds fantastic. In fact, I sold my Boss Katana within days of getting this thing. Two reasons. Firstly, it sounds great, certainly with the Celestion speaker in. I think it sounds really, really good, and just natural, transparent, sort of open sounding compared to the Katana. The Katana, for me, I don't know why. Honestly, I've bought and sold them over the years, thinking, well, everyone else loves them, why don't I? And every time I get one, I think it just doesn't sound, the way I want an amp to sound. It sounds fizzy and tinny, and just, even with the Celestion speaker in, actually, it sounded better with that, but just didn't sound great to my mind. This thing, immediately I plugged it in, I just thought it sounds so much more natural and so much more to my mind, or to my ears, like a real amp. And hey, it's a 50 watt with an effects loop. I mean, Boss, come on, seriously. It's a 50 watt with a small display panel. If you haven't seen it, I'm sure you have. But I mean, that thing makes it so much easier to know where you are, what you're doing, how to edit. And the truth is, I play this every day now because it's simple and it's fun to use. I can turn it to manual and within seconds get a really nice sounding sort of clean or slightly broken up sound, and easily turn on some delay, manage that delay, turn on some a boost or something and manage that without having to dive into an app. It's just accessible, it's easy, and it's got an effects loop. However, and this is a big but, I've just tried that effects loop for the first time, and to my amazement, I don't get this. I mean, to me, either you should have user customization of where the effects loop is, like you do on the Boss 100s. You can choose where the effects loop is in the chain, or surely the effects loop goes at the very end of a chain, because what's one of the things most people are going to use an effects loop for, especially for practicing, and let's face it, these are really practice amps, surely it's a looper. And I've just plugged a looper in. Here's a little loop I've recorded. Well, that's fine. The trouble is, as soon as I turn on a delay, which I might want to use to solo over that loop, because of the position of the effects loop in this, which if you check the manual, and I must admit I didn't because I just don't understand why a manufacturer would do this, the effects loop comes after the preamp, but before any of the power amp stages and before any of the effects. What that means is, as soon as I turn on the delay internally in the amp, guess what? It will start running that delay through everything that's coming out of the looper pedal. I'll show you what I mean. So here we go, I'll turn it on. Now I'm going to turn on the delay. So now you can hear the loop is clean again. Why Blackstar? Why? I will say you're not the only ones to do this. I had a Catalyst, the Line 6 Catalyst 100, that had an effects loop. They did exactly the same thing, and it was a major deal breaker. What it means is you can't use any effects built into the amp if you're using a looper with the amp, which, as I say, I'm sure thousands of people are going to do because, for practice especially, a looper is a really essential tool. So either put the effects loop at the end of the chain, or allow the user to customize where it goes per patch. Another thing I've discovered on this is that the effects loop is placed before the volume. So that's this one here, not the master volume, but the power amp volume. Now the problem with that is then if you have a patch or a preset where you've decided to have the gain say here, because this does affect the, these two work like on a real amp, they work together. So if you decided you want the volume up and you save that preset, but the next preset you've got the volume is say here, and you change presets during playback of a loop on a looper pedal, guess what? The volume of the loop itself changes because the looper is placed in the effects loop before this control, this volume control here. I just don't get it. To me, that's a real shame, Blackstar, because this is a fantastic amp, really, really good. Really enjoy using it. As I said, I play it every day, and I think you've dropped a ball here.